welcome to the $1 Million Case Study, session 16. It's crazy for me that we've already done 15 of these. Today will be the 16th. So surely you guys have seen some before. If not, this is a philanthropic case study where we're donating 100% of the profits from $1 million worth of physical product sales. Now that's awesome in itself, but also you guys get to look over our shoulder as we're building and growing this business to $1 million in revenue. We're donating all the profits to Pencils of Promise. And I'm very confident if you follow along and watch what we're doing, you can replicate our successes because we're being 100% totally transparent. We're sharing with you what's not working, our failures, our successes, what is working, hacks and tips and tricks that we learn all along the way. I don't know of anyone else out there in this space that's sharing all this information, even the product that we're selling and everything else. So it's a fantastic resource. Like I said, this is number 16. I don't want to waste any time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I have some slides prepared for you guys. And then after that, I'm going to do a couple of screen shares and I'm going to be taking your questions. But also feel free to drop your questions into the chat box. If there's something that's not clear, again, will stop me and I will be more than happy to answer these the questions for you. All right. So I should be able to share my screen now. Like I said, session number 16. I want to give you guys some updates. We're also going to be going over question and answer. But before we begin, let's talk about the winner from our social media giveaway from last week. So the winner is, I'm going to butcher this name and I apologize in advance, Janos or Hanos. And I'm just going to read this to you guys real quick because it's super inspiring. I got chills when I read this last time. But it says, hey guys, my name is Janos Hanos. I'm 34 years old. For many years, I've been reflecting on what I'd like to do when I grow up. And I know that exact feeling. I reflect on that too. My dream has always been having a business, but I've never had the opportunity to learn. And I wasn't sure which direction I should follow in my professional life. That's why I can show up very varied and colorful resume, including living in 4 different countries. For some reason, whenever I started something, I did not persevere and I left the project halfway or worse before even commencing. So I've started showing interest about the fantastic and powerful world of Amazon in January of last year. I didn't know anything about it, but I knew that it could be one day my world too. I had many questions and doubts in my mind at the beginning. I've spent almost all my spare time on the internet looking for information, watching videos, reading blogs, following selling gurus, like the quotes there. But eventually all of them gave only half the information and were looking for me to buy the full course. So I'd almost given up when I'd finally discovered a group of guys that were giving concrete help, a ton of useful information, and they didn't ask for anything in exchange. This group is called Jungle Scout. Woohoo! So video after video, ebook after ebook, and after about 12 months of research and learning from the $1 Million Case Study, I started to see things clearly. At the middle of February this year, I contacted my first Chinese supplier, and eventually towards the end of May, my first shipment has arrived to Amazon's warehouse. Woohoo! Congratulations. In these days, I'm fighting for reviews and already contacting Alibaba about my next item to sell. It looks like he's already looking to scale up his business. So if there is something I've learned, guys, during the adventure, is that you really want to reach your objective and don't give up, overcoming all the obstacles, and you can do anything. Success is a master of camouflage because it always looks like hard work. A special huge thanks to the team at Jungle Scout. Please don't stop what you're doing because you are really changing lives of your followers. This was super inspiring to read. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this and following along this case study can really relate here because I remember being in this exact same position a few years ago when I had a corporate job. I wanted to start my own business. I wasn't sure what to do. It's really hard to find good information on the internet, and I know exactly how our winner here feels. So I think this one really resonated with us. So congratulations, you're the winner of the $1 Million Case Study giveaway. Amelia from the Jungle Scout team is going to contact you and we'll get you hooked up with your prize. We also have a runner-up, Liz Kellogg. She tweeted me this over the weekend. I was quick to tweet back and make sure she was aware of her road safety because I said the driver shouldn't be watching the $1 Million Case Study, only the passenger. She ensured me the driver was only listening, not watching the video. But this was a super cool video. So again, Liz, Amelia from our team is going to contact you, get you hooked up with one of our free prizes. So how can you guys win one of these? go to this link, junglescout.com/giveaway. There it will walk you through how to win one of our giveaways. The winners will receive a Jungle Scout Pro extension, a Jungle Scout Lite extension, or a Jungle Scout t-shirt. You'll also be featured on our website, and we're selecting winners every single week for all of 2017. So even if you're watching a replay of this, don't hesitate to enter our giveaways because, like I said, every single week for all of 2017, we're going to be selecting winners. So I encourage all you guys to do so. So let's get into the meat of this now. All right. So hopefully you guys have been following along here. 2 weeks ago, I kind of gave a timeline of where we were at with stuff. And let's see. So our product arrived a couple of days before the 1st of June. This past Saturday is when I started our launch. So I give away 10 coupons per day. So I've done that for 4 days now. So I did, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 10 coupons per day. So I guess I've given out 40 coupons for 90% off. Of those, it seems like a lot of people have purchased the item. I'll show you my sales in a few minutes here. We got professional photos back last night. So hot off the press. I'm going to show you those in a second. The photos are fantastic. I'm really happy with how they came out. However, we also want to get lifestyle photos taken also. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later during this webinar. But yeah, so the pictures came back as we expected, super high quality, super nice. We weren't expecting this particular photographer to do lifestyle images for us. So we're going to give our images to someone else. And I think that's when our listing will be really nice. So we hope to have the lifestyle images by the end of like next week. And then my goal is by the end of this month to be on the first page, hopefully in the top few results for our main keywords. So when we did our launch, so this past Saturday, these are the images we use, which are really crappy, and I wouldn't actually recommend this. So these were the images that were given to us by our supplier. I just personally removed the background. As you can tell, they don't look very good. But this is all we had, and I was anxious to get started, so I went ahead giving out coupons and trying to initially get sales, even though we have had some pretty janky photos. But last night, like I said, we got some of our photos at least from productphotography.com. Robert and his team were nice enough to donate their services to us since this is a case study for charity. But if you were to pay for these, I think they run like a couple $100, maybe $300 or so for all these. And they do a fantastic job there. So thank you for doing these. I just want to show them to you guys. So, this one on the left, yeah, you can kind of see just really nice images here. I'm just going to scroll through a few of them. So we have one of the full blanket or the full towel on the left. The right shows the towel with the washcloth. This is one of my favorite ones on the left here. It shows the nice little bundle. The photographers do a really nice job of like folding these back. Actually, I don't even really know what they do. Maybe they iron them or kind of fluff them up, or but they do a really nice job kind of folding them back up like that. They did a nice job of probably kind of like fluffing up like the little bow tie thing to make that look real nice and professional. These are nice, more like detailed images. I kind of like how they did the gray background there. That looks pretty good. This looks really nice. To me, this looks like very high quality fabric. Like just the picture alone makes it look very soft and very like fluffy. So they did a good job with that. And then we just have a few box images, which, yeah, they turned out nice as well. So you can't really tell from this, but these are super high resolution. Like if you look at your computer like in full size, they're huge. You can like really zoom in close, and yeah, I think they really turned out nice. So,
and Greg, those are just the first color, right?
Yes, that's correct. So we still have 2 other colors. We have blue ones and pink ones, and I think they were hoping to get those to us today or tomorrow. So that's correct. And these are all just the one color, the white one. All right. So a lot of the questions I had from you guys was, how much money have you spent? How much money are you making? All those kind of stuff. So I wanted to share the unit economics here. So on our order, we ordered 1,000 units, and each unit, so the unit was the whole thing, the packaging, the washcloth, the towel, everything all assembled were $5.45 per unit. So add 1,000 of those, that's $5,450. So a substantial amount of money. That was for like FOB terms. So we also now need to get those from the factory into Amazon's warehouses. So air shipping was $3,900, or ocean shipping was $737. So ocean shipping was substantially cheaper. It takes about a month, and air shipping took about a week. So for this particular case study, we did opt for air shipping because we were very anxious to get started. We know there's a lot of people following along with this that want to see our product get live on Amazon, see how we're launching it and stuff. There is a little bit of a opportunity cost we have to factor in there. You know, like an extra month of no sales is lost profit for us. So we did kind of factor that in. But to be completely honest with you guys, a big reason that we chose the very high price of the air shipping was just so we can continue to move this case study along, because a huge part of this is for you guys to kind of learn how we're doing this. So we did choose the air shipping for $3,900. That brought our unit total, so our landed cost at Amazon to purchase this and to ship it and for it to land at Amazon was $9.35. If we would have shipped ocean, we could have landed them at Amazon for $6.19, which is substantially cheaper. That's 30% less. So I just want to show you guys how much profit we're making on these. The total FBA fees for our listing at $24.95 is $7.92. So our retail price is $24.95. We're subtracting $7.92 for the FBA fees, $9.35 because that's our unit cost per product. And then historically, my PPC spend's been around 4 to 5% of the total revenue. So I subtracted $1, which is I think a little more than 4% or something. So our profit per unit sale is going to be about $6.68 for this first batch of 1,000 units. So that's 27% margins or 71% return on investment. So that means every dollar I spend on inventory, I profit 71 cents, which is decent, but I want better than that. So the next shipment, it is going to be ocean because we can plan out the next one a little bit better. We have some more time. So with that one, we're going to be making $9.84 profit, which is 39% margins or 159% ROI, which is a lot better. Those are actually very good numbers. So that means every $1 I invest in inventory, I'm making back $1.59. And those are really good returns. And that's something that I'll be really happy with if we can achieve that, which I think we will. A couple things I'm not taking into account here is, product photography. We got it for free, but you guys are gonna have to spend a little money on that. If you have to spend some money on packaging design, that those are other like costs. But I'm just kind of talking about unit economics here, because in a year from now, after we've sold 20,000 of these, the cost of the $200 worth of product photography is going to be like a fraction of a penny for each particular unit. But so these are just kind of things you can be thinking about. So a lot of you watching this are probably thinking like, wow, that's a lot of money. You spent thousands and thousands of dollars to get started here. What if I'm brand new at this? What if I don't have that much money to spend, or I'm not willing to risk that much of my capital for a business venture I've never tried before that I'm still learning? And that's where I was when I first got started on Amazon. I wouldn't have spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever, to get started. So what I would recommend to you, we ordered quite a few units. We ordered 1,000 units to get started here, which to me, that doesn't seem like a lot because I know how powerful Amazon is, and I know I can easily sell 1,000 units. But if you're just getting started, that might be like pretty overwhelming. So why don't you just start with 100 or 200 units? If we would have started with 200 units, it would have been like $1,000 to get started, right? So that's one option. Is you can do a smaller initial order. Or you can start with the less expensive product. If you can find a product that you can source for $1, which there's tons of them, then you could order 1,000 of them for $1,000, right? So there's just a few things to start think about. You could also just start with one variation. So we started with 3 colors: white, blue, and pink. We ordered, about 333 of each. You definitely don't need to do that. Most of our competitors only have like one color. I don't know. I just got kind of excited, I guess. So I ordered a few different colors. So, I could have just done 333 units of white and that would have been fine too. And then, like I said, if we weren't doing this for the case study, if this was just me personally and my FBA business, I would have shipped ocean probably, because we would have saved over $3,000, which of course is a pretty significant savings. So how many sales have we made so far? Real quick, I'll just show you our listing. So we actually, my designer just sent me these images like literally 10 minutes before the webinar started. And I just quickly uploaded them. But what she did is she put some designs on top of the image, on top of the photography that was sent to us. So on this one, we did this little like kind of competitive matrix looking thing. So, we wanted to really highlight some of the reasons that our towel is better than the competitors. So ours 500 GSM, which is the thickness, where most of our competitors, I think, are 350. Some of our competitors are this kind of like crappy cotton fabric, where ours is this nice, luxurious feeling bamboo fabric. We have the eco-friendly thing going on. Ours are larger, 35 by 35 inches, where our competitors are either like 28, or I think there might be one that's like 30 by 30. But as far as I know, I think we're the largest one on Amazon, which is nice. So that's a little thing to help you differentiate your product from competitors. We also wanted to call out that we are including a washcloth. That's something that I don't really look, but at least most people aren't doing. So we have the washcloth. So we really wanted to call that out, pull attention to that. This is a pretty cool one. This is, if you recognize this image, this is one of the ones that the photographer sent us, but we'll scroll back and look at it. I think it was this one that she took. So we took this one and then we turned it into this little like kind of like magnifying glass one. And to me, this picture just looks like very like high-end fabric. So we wanted to kind of like showcase that magnified look. So that one turned out pretty nice. These are a couple of cute photos of Gen's daughter. So thank you for modeling for us. These are a few just cell phone pictures he snapped. So we're going to get some real professional lifestyle images taken. And then, just include the little one of the box, that one that I like, and the little ear. So that's what our listing's looking at right now. It's getting there. Like our content's good, our title's good, our bullets, description, all that's pretty good. Our images are getting pretty good, but we really need some professional lifestyle images taken to like really make it shine. And then we still don't even have any images for pink or blue. All we're showing is this crappy box photo. So hopefully we'll get those pink and blue ones today or tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have the lifestyle images done maybe at like the end of next week or something. And then after that, that's when I'll be confident that we have a really nice high-end listing. So what do we have as far as sales go? So I'm looking in Fetcher here. We had, let's see, the 3rd, which was 4 days ago, we had 12 sales, then 9, then 7, then 10. Now, a lot of these are our sales from the coupons that we distributed, okay? So the dark blue here are from the coupons. So you can see like promo rebates. The really light blue here, those are still pending. So Amazon doesn't tell us whether there were promo sales or like organic sales, but we can assume most of those are promo sales. And then we have had at least one sale each day of a normal organic sale. Or when I say organic, that's actually not the correct term. Just a sale that wasn't from our coupon. So we've sold at least one each day, which that's a fine start. We only have 4 days of sales here. So this is what I would expect when I launch a brand new product. It's kind of slow off the bat. Hopefully we'll continue to get some good sales. Hopefully from that, we get some reviews and then start ranking a little better. So just want to show you inside JumpSend here. Actually, so I told you wrong. I gave away 10 more coupons today. So I've given away 50 coupons. Not everyone actually uses the coupons, but it looks like most people have. One person didn't, 2 people didn't, but for the most part, they have. I listed it for 90% off, which is probably a little too steep because I've had 173 people ask for a coupon. I've given them out to or sorry, this is actually 173 pending. I'm giving it out to 50. So like 223 people have requested that they want a coupon for this product. So to tell the truth, probably starting tomorrow, I'll raise the price to maybe like $5 or something. It's like 80% off, and start giving away coupons at that rate. And you can kind of play with it, like depending on your product and depending on how badly people want your product, you'll get more or less requests. But getting like 220 requests, that probably tells me that I could have charged more money, and a lot of people would still be interested in this. So yeah, I'll probably tomorrow like raise this to like $5, and try to make a little bit more money on those coupon sales. And then inside Splitly, I'm tracking our placement for these 3 keywords: bamboo hooded towel, baby towel, and hooded baby towel. And we're improving, but it's still not good. Like bamboo hooded towel, we started out on page 10. Now we're on page 4. For baby towel, as of 5 days ago, we weren't even showing up at all. Then it looks like we're still on page 10. Now we're on page 5 for hooded baby towel. So we're still not ranking very well. Once we get some reviews, that will help our ranking, because right now we are getting some sales like I showed you, but our conversion rate's still really bad. I looked in Seller Central today and it's like 4%. Comparatively, like our jungle sticks, our bamboo marshmallow sticks are like 17%. So our conversions are still pretty bad. And that makes sense because until last night, we didn't even have these nice images. All we had was like these janky box images. So it makes sense that, our listing isn't very good yet. So we're not converting that well. So after we start converting better, after we have more sales, after we have more reviews, so we have more social proof, that's when I really expect our ranking to improve a lot on Amazon. So I want to tell you guys about a few other things based off of the questions that we're getting. We have a lot of questions about the brand registry process. So I'll just go over this real quickly in case you guys haven't seen some of the past webinars. But brand registry used to be open to pretty much anyone who created their own brand like we did. They shut it down for like a month. When it reopened, it required you to have your brand to have a trademark. So I noticed it was open for like a week. I meant to attempt to get the brand registry, even though my trademark's even only in pending. However, I went back there like a few days ago and then again today, and I guess it's closed again. So I don't know what the deal is with it. I don't know if they're changing the rules again, or they had too many requests or something else. I have no idea, but brand registry is closed. I might try to do this thing. It says like, if you want to apply for this GTIN exemption, you can do so. So the reason that I wanted to do brand registry, and the reason I might try for this exemption, is that we didn't use a GS1 UPC code. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, I'm going to have you go back and watch the $1 million case study when we talk about designing your packaging, because we go in more depth there. But at the end of the day, I'm really not that worried about this. It's like, yeah, I'll get the trademark in a few months. I've never really heard of anyone, even though it's not a GS1 barcode, getting like their listing suspended. So I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow. Now, I'm not too concerned about it. I think it'll be fine. And then I'll just let you guys know how it plays out, or when we figure anything else out about it. I also had some testing about, since this is a children's product, did we do any testing for it? And the answer is yes, we did. And to be completely honest with you guys and transparent, if I wasn't doing the case study, I don't know for sure if I would have done this testing. I mean, I probably would have, because like I'm a pretty good rule follower, but I would bet like 9 out of 10 of my competitors aren't doing this. And the reason, I think the reason for that is this particular product, like a baby towel, it kind of, I think, falls into this like gray area. The regulations aren't very clear whether or not you need to do this testing or not. Now, if it was like a baby toy or a baby bottle or like something like that was very clearly stated in the regulations, then I would do it without a doubt. But a baby towel or a towel, it fell into this like gray area where there weren't clear-cut regulations. Since this is the case study and we're in the public's eye, I did go ahead and do the tests. It cost me $195. And from what I understand, I don't have to redo these unless we change like the materials that we use for the product. So it's like, I'll probably never do that. So like $195 one time, that's not too bad. And now I am totally legit and I don't have to worry about whether or not someone decides that my towel does fall in here. So I didn't know what tests to run. AsiaInspection.com did these for us. They're like a certified testing facility for CPSC, which is the consumer, I don't know what it stands for, consumer safety, something in the USA. So all I did was just email them. I just say, hey, what tests do I need to follow the guidelines for baby products in the USA based off CPSC guidelines? And they knew exactly the tests. And these are the ones they did. You can ask them to do those same ones. If your product's different, for example, if you're doing like a baby toy or something, like you're not going to do textile fiber products identification label or whatever. So I would just email these. I've always just emailed these inspection facilities and just say like, hey, what tests do I need?
So Greg, do you get some kind of certification with that?
To be honest with you, again, I haven't looked at what they emailed me, but yeah, it's some kind of some type of paperwork or certification or whatever that shows that I've passed these. So we passed all these tests. And now if anyone at Amazon or anyone else ever asks like, hey, have you your product meet or pass the CPSC guidelines, and I could show them those documents.
Oh, great. Great.
Yep. And I guess, to be honest with you, maybe that's something that we should like play up in our marketing of our particular product. Because like I said, I would bet like 9 out of 10 of our competitors aren't doing this. So it would be something that we could potentially, play up and say, hey, we're more legit than the rest. I also enrolled our listing in this early reviewer program, which is pretty interesting. So this is brand new. I just saw this show up in my Seller Central account last week. And so I want to tell you guys a little bit about it. So it cost me $60. All I had to do was just submit my SKU, and then it got approved. I'm pretty sure it's just $60. Like, even though I have 3 variations, I think it's just $60 one time because like all my variations shared the same reviews. But what's going to happen now, or at least this is what Amazon claims, is that they're going to randomly select shoppers who purchase my product that have like a healthy reviewer history. And they're going to ask them to leave a review in exchange for a $1 to $3 Amazon gift card. So I don't have any control over who they select. I'm not involved with this at all. All I did was submit my SKU and pay them $60. And they're going to do all this for me. So it's supposed to be pretty like randomized. It's supposed to be like unbiased. So yeah, that's all fine. The one thing that sucks about it is it only works until the listing has 5 reviews. At that point, they no longer do this. So it's like, 5 reviews is pretty easy to get. I would imagine like in the next few days, I already have 5 reviews just because of my giveaways. But it's like, I wanted to see kind of like how the program worked, and I wanted to show this to you guys. So I'll keep you updated. All I know as of right now is that my SKU was approved. I paid them my $60, and yeah, they haven't told me anything else, and I don't have any reviews from it yet. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. If you want to find out more, you can go to this really long, terrible link, or you could just Google early reviewer program in Amazon, and you can find out more in their FAQ section. If they did this until your listing had like 25 reviews or 50 reviews or something, I would be super stoked about this. I would be really excited for it because that would be awesome. But it's like until it only has 5 reviews, I don't really know if I'll ever enroll in this program again, because it's like 5 reviews, that's really easy to get. I don't know if it's really worth paying you $60 extra to like maybe help expedite that process. So what are the next steps? How are we going to do better? How are we going to continue to improve? How are we going to continue to boost our product up in the organic rankings so that we're getting organic sales? One, adding lifestyle images. So we want like cute picture, like professional photos of babies wearing our towel, or maybe like a mom or a dad holding the baby around the towel. That'd be a good one. Or like just some like nice lifestyle images that really show, like babies are happy when they use our towel. Maybe do some more design work. I just showed you guys those images. Actually, I wrote these slides before, and then my designer just sent me those like literally 10 minutes before the webinar. So you guys have already seen them, but that was the idea. I haven't checked on our PPC yet. I'm going to let it run for like a full week before I even take a look at it. After that, I'm going to optimize it and start to pull out some search terms that people are searching for. I forgot to freaking set up my email campaigns in JumpSend. I was kind of mad about that. So as soon as this webinar is over, I'm going to do that to make sure that I'm emailing customers who purchase my product and ask them to leave me a review. And then I need to set up some A/B tests ASAP. I'm going to try to do that this afternoon too. So I need the first two things I want to test are my main image and my price. So I'm going to get those set up with Splitly later today so I can start optimizing my listing. And then you guys already saw these images I got right before the webinar because they're on my Amazon listing. But like I showed you before, they're cool. They make my product look a lot neater. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead now and take some questions. So again, do you have a couple to start with?
Yeah, so there was one question. Can we go referring back to the early reviewer program? Is that only if you're a brand registered seller or for anybody?
So I read the FAQs and it said that you're supposed to have brand registry or own the brand, or they use some kind of terminology like that to be able to enroll in it. However, I submitted my SKU and it was approved. So I don't know if it's like a bug there, you don't really need to be, or what. So I would just recommend for you just to try it.
Okay, cool. So yes, I have been collecting questions. Can I throw them at you?
Let's do it, man.
All right, great. This one comes from Nathan Young. How long should a product be on JumpSend for successful product launch? Whatever that might be.
Sure. I'm going to leave it on JumpSend. I'm going to continue to do giveaways until my product is successful, until it's organically selling well, and I no longer need to supplement the sales with promo sales off JumpSend. So that's my strategy, and that's what I would personally recommend.
Okay. This comes from Bogi Komoromi. Can you give the metrics for European markets when determining the depth of the niche? You said roughly 3,000 sales per product for the US market, but how about EU markets? Like, what would be a healthy benchmark?
Yeah, I could say 1,000 would be pretty good. 2,000 total demand throughout the whole niche in one of the EU markets, I think would be superb. So you can use those as like rough guidelines or rules of thumb.
All right. From Brent Sanford, a little bit of a longer one, but is it worth selling a product that has multiple items on the first page with less than 50 reviews, but also has some that have multiple hundred and even 1,000 reviews? So basically a few that are dominating the niche. Even if I know that the demand is high for the product, and even if I get to the bottom of the first page, I could make a decent revenue. And he gives his product. What are your thoughts?
That's a good question. So big picture here is you want to try to find the product that has the largest gap between so you want to find the product, like the best product you can that has the most demand with the least amount of review. So it sounds like your product could potentially be a winner, but it also sounds like if you keep looking that you can probably find a better product. So it's kind of hard to say based off just the information that you're giving us, but I'm getting the feeling that you should probably keep looking.
All right. From Ayal Karen from Israel here. My question is about applying the JS tools to validate an opportunity for a new private label product that doesn't exist yet. What rules should I apply?
So, great question. I would not recommend selling any product that doesn't have existing demand on Amazon. So when you say a new private label product, if you're talking about, I am launching a water bottle, this is a new private label product because it's bigger or it's made out of a different material, or it's whatever, this, that, and the other thing different, then I think that's fine because I know there's existing demand for water bottles on Amazon, okay? If you're trying to sell XYZ widget that no one has ever heard of, that no one knows what it does, that there's no proven existing demand on Amazon, then personally, I think that's too risky and I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't personally do that because you don't know if anyone's actually searching on Amazon to try to find this product. So those would be my recommendations for you to, really look for something that has existing demand that we already know people are searching for on Amazon to find.
All right. Thank you. All right. So this comes from Renan Levy. I have 400 pieces of slow moving inventory. What are your best practices in a situation? He's not ready to scrap the inventory yet.
Good question. Optimize your listing. Splitly is a great resource for that. You can A/B test different images, different prices. They have the profit peak feature in there to like help find an optimal price that makes you the most amount of profit on a daily basis. So that's one thing that I would do. You can try doing some giveaways to improve your sales velocity, which in return will result in you ranking higher on Amazon. Those are the things that I would do, but it sounds like you need some further optimization or maybe some further kind of like stimulus on your sales velocity, increase additional sales.
All right. This is one everybody's been asking a lot. I'm curious, being such a launch, how has that impacted competition? Others duplicate and
so yeah, again, broke a little bit, but I think the question was, like since you're launching this publicly, surely there's copycats. How's it impacted you? So there is without a doubt copycats. In the past week or two, we've seen like probably 5, maybe 10 new listings selling the exact same product. So it will hurt our launch a little bit, right? Like we have 10 new competitors that are copying us through this case study. However, like I'm not going to worry about it, right? Like there's always all kinds of things we can worry about. We wanted to do a public launch so you guys understand and can see the product and see the images and see all these types of things. So we're just gonna do the best we can, and yeah, we'll keep you updated on our sales and our profit and our progress on how it goes.
All right. So from Carmen Geraldine Munez, well, now getting reviews is hard. Lately, I keep getting messages that buyers opt out of receiving any seller messages. So they're doing perhaps this without the purpose of us paying to get reviews. Jumps in about it, but maybe you could discuss that.
Sure. So buyers on Amazon now have the ability to opt out of emails that customers are sending them. I don't know how they never had this ability before, because like since like 2001, there was this law that says any commercial emails have to have a mechanism for opting out of them. Like any other marketing message you get has this, but somehow Amazon, I guess they were too cool for this national law. They finally put this in. So now sellers can just say like unsubscribe from emails. So like no surprise there, they're finally like following this like 15-year-old law. But all this means is that a small percentage of your customers, like from our test, it looks like 15, 20, maybe a little bit more are opting out of these emails and aren't receiving the emails from you asking to leave a review. But who cares? It's like 15 or 20% of people. It doesn't matter. Just keep sending the emails. It's still the best way to improve the amount of reviews you get. I'm not worried about it. I'm still going to be requesting reviews, even though a small portion of people have asked to no longer receive those emails from Amazon. So don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Cool. All right. So from questions regarding pay-per-click from Andrew Bloomfield. Have you noticed any change in pay-per-click performance for him from January through April this year, who's running around 11% average cost of sales? Suddenly in May, it jumped to 40%, and he hasn't made any changes. He's seen the same in other seller forums. Have you experienced any changes?
No. Sounds like to me you probably have like a couple of new competitors are bidding really aggressively on their PPC. I don't think, from my experience, that's not true. Like as like Amazon as a whole. So yeah, I don't know for sure what to tell you there. You just have I think, in my opinion, I think you just have a few more competitors bidding up your PPC costs.
Sure. And maybe worth digging into the keyword search report, search terms, and maybe seeing where some of those keywords that are bloating the spend. We had a great one with a few sessions ago. From Tally Shimoni, got her first return or his first return. How do I find out why? And how do I know that it's in resaleable condition?
This is a really good question. So Amazon, for the most part, handles returns for us. Okay. So like if someone purchases these baby towels and they decide they don't want it, they select an option from like a drop down menu and then send it back to Amazon. So there's like 5 or 10 options. I don't know, like one's like, I decided I didn't want it. One's like unit not described as expected, blah, 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 whatever. There's a bunch of options, right? So some of the options, they can say like, okay, essentially like Amazon understands that this is like still a brand new product. You just don't want it. You're just sending it back. So from what I understand, from what I know, Amazon's not totally transparent about this. If they select one of those options, then it goes back into your normal inventory and Amazon then sells it as new. There are times when people actually do like open this, then use it, then package it back up and then send it back and say it was new. And that kind of sucks because then someone else may get this product even, and when they open the box, they realize like, wait a second, this doesn't look like it's folded right or whatever reason. I think someone else has used this. And then that looks bad on you as a seller. It could even result like in a bad review, but there's nothing you can really do about it. So you just have to like keep doing your best for that. Now, another option is people say that it's like broken or whatever, it's defective, something else. When they send those back to Amazon, most of the time they're actually not defective or broken. People just choose those options because they know if they choose those that Amazon will pay for the return shipping instead of the option saying it's like still new, I just don't want it. And then the customer has to pay for the return shipping. So sometimes or oftentimes in those scenarios, it's not actually wrong. There's nothing wrong with the product. So at that point, you can either have it like sent either to your house or somewhere else. They can repackage it, like inspect it, repackage it, and send it back to Amazon, and again, sell it as new. Or if you're like me, you don't want to deal with all those headaches, and I just dispose of these products at Amazon. So like a $5 product, by the time I pay for shipping to have it sent somewhere, I don't want to personally do any of this. That sounds like way too much work. By the time I have it sent somewhere, they inspect it, put it in a new box, and ship it back to Amazon, that would probably be like $5. So it sucks that it's wasteful. Hopefully Amazon, when I say dispose, is really like donating this to someone, but I'm not going to deal with that. So I just dispose of all returns that aren't, marked as new, and you just factor that into your costs.
All right, thank you. So from Mario McCann, if you were starting today, would you choose a European market, which is less saturated than the US? And kind of like a related question, how you're approaching Amazon now as a seller when it's maybe becoming more competitive?
Sure, good question. If you're just starting out now, I would choose whatever marketplace has the least resistance for you to get started. So if you're in the US and it's easy for you to sell in the US store, then sell in the US store. If you're in the EU, then sell in the EU because that's probably the least resistance for you to get started. And from that, you're going to learn how the process works. You're going to start to make profit. Then you can reinvest that into expanding into other marketplaces or other products or what have you. If you're in a country that doesn't have Amazon, so maybe you're in Australia or you're in South America or whatever, somewhere else that doesn't have a local Amazon marketplace, I would personally probably still sell in the US. It definitely has the highest demand, but also the highest competition. If that intimidates you, then the EU is a good choice too. You could sell in the UK or Germany. Both of those have strong demand, solid demand, and not too much competition.
All right. So this comes from Ellis. So currently selling 4 to 5 sales a day, looking to ramp it up to 10 to 15. What tactics would you recommend? Maybe a super URL to boost specific keywords, or ramping up pay-per-click, other things that he could do?
Yeah, sure. So super URLs, those things stopped working like 10 years ago. Whoever says it still works is lying to you. So you can throw the super URL thing out. That doesn't matter. You could spend more on PPC. What I personally do is I optimize my listing. So I A/B test the images. I run profit peak to find the optimal price. I optimize my listings as much as I can. At that point, I just add more SKUs, and that's, in my opinion, the easiest way to grow. So you could try to drive outside traffic. You could try to do these other things. But for me personally, I don't think it's a great use of my time or money. It's much easier, in my opinion, just to launch more products. So, but I am a huge fan of optimizing your listing, especially your main image and your price. And then, of course, you can optimize your PPC too. I'm a big fan of that as well.
All right, so a question from Organic Deal, which I've seen a couple times. How can you protect from your seller selling your same product to other sellers or selling directly to Amazon?
You can't. So that's just part of business, all right? Your suppliers are in the business of manufacturing units, manufacturing your widget, and they're in the business of selling that to other people like you. So you're kind of doing the same thing if you think about it. Like I'm probably using the same supplier as some of my competitors, right? So that's just how the world works, and that's just going to be business around it. So don't get discouraged about that. This isn't your own invention, so you can't like patent this, but it doesn't matter. Like you can still just do all this and still do well on Amazon, be successful on Amazon. So just don't worry about that. They probably will sell to your competitors down the road, just like existing hooded baby towels on Amazon right now. I'm probably using one of their suppliers who's selling to me. So just don't worry about it. I see all these questions, and I realize I think people are like really worried about like all this kind of stuff, like even like our new competitors and all this kind of jazz. But that's a very like limited mindset or mindset that that there's not like enough to go around. So Amazon is huge. Like we're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars and views every day and all this stuff. So there's so much volume here. There's so many people purchasing on Amazon that, you know, A, it's not a zero-sum game. If there's more hooded baby towel listings, probably more of them will be sold to people. And B, there's just so much volume there that even if like, we'll probably have like 100 copycats through this case study, but I'm still confident that like ours is going to sell because there's just that much volume for these products on Amazon. So yeah, so you can't protect it. Just launch your product and just continue on with life.
All right. Good advice. I like it. So this question from Ramin Ostad. Given the high level of competition in hooded baby towels, what made you certain that you could make it onto the first page? What are the main differentiators between you and other sellers? And then related questions about like kind of like the overview of how we'll get to $1 million.
Absolutely. Good question. So hooded baby towels isn't super competitive. I saw that on the first page for that term, there were multiple listings without many reviews, which signifies to me it's kind of like an immature or a young niche, and that's something I can easily get into. We read some of the bad reviews, and people said that the towels were too thin, so we made ours thicker. People complained that they were too small. They couldn't wrap around their babies, so we made ours a little bit bigger. We included a washcloth, which I think at the time we were doing product research, no one else had. Probably some of our new copycats do have them. And then besides that, we're just planning on having great images and a great listing, and doing just kind of like all the fundamentals of successful Amazon products. And through that, I'm confident it'll do well. To get to $1 million, we're kind of just making this up as we go along, to be honest with you. So this one product, I don't know how well it's going to do. I'm hoping at least 100,000 a year in sales, maybe more. So to get to $1 million within the next, I mean, we don't want it to take too long, right? Hopefully the next like 2 years. We have our marshmallow sticks, which are selling about $200,000 a year. Hopefully it sells at least 100,000, but maybe 200,000 a year. So that would be like 400K. That would still be 2.5 years. So we'll probably either launch one or two more products or expand to some other marketplaces. maybe try to do our own like little e-commerce store, but that would probably be more just for like case study purposes, not necessarily because I'm actually a believer that's going to increase our revenue by much, but it'd be really good as a testing thing so you guys can learn from it. And if it does do well, then you know how to do it. So we don't really know yet how we're going to get to $1 million. We're going to see how this product does and then go from there.
All right. So from Matthew Lacaze, so can you just kind of like address export shipping? So for example, on the outer cartons, in order to get them to the Amazon warehouse, any special markings necessary, or any like high level tips to simplify the process of getting from supplier to Amazon?
Yeah, the box markings don't really matter. They'll still make it into Amazon. Actually, I try to like write like my company name and the product name, the weight, and a few other things on the box. But I think I forgot to tell this factory about my box markings. So they don't really matter. I don't have any other really like tips or tricks or things that you should necessarily be worried about. I would watch the $1 million case study we did on freight, on shipping from China, because there are like some little nuances to it. But most of that stuff would be kind of like too long to talk about during a Q&A session.
Yeah, it was with Philip from Freightos.com. What I really liked was he had a little slide on kind of general cost on from ocean, air cargo, air express. So that was super helpful. But yeah, I think that was a great episode. Okay, so from Renuka B. In case we need to source from 2 different suppliers, like maybe putting a bundled package together, what's the best way to coordinate between 2 suppliers and get the product into Amazon without having to ship it yourself?
I would ask one of the, so I'm assuming you're getting 2 different products made here from 2 different factories. You need to combine them, package them together, and then have them ship it into Amazon for you. So I would communicate with both of the factories and figure out, like, hopefully one of these factories is willing to work with you and be the one to kind of like package all this together, because you don't want to package all this product. Like if you order like 1,000 units, like that would suck to sit in your house and put, put 2 and 2 or 1 and 1 together to make 2. So I would talk to these factories and see which ones were willing to like work with you or do that. They'd probably charge a small fee. But I would really try to get that done like in China or wherever your product's being made, as opposed to having them ship both to you, you do it, and then send it into the factory. But I don't have like a great resource for you for that kind of thing. I've always just spoken to the suppliers and told them what I was trying to do and tried to get them to work with me.
All right, and kind of a follow-up question from Arturo ES. What's the best way to list a bundle of 2 products? Should I aim to rank one, or is there a way to rank both of them at the same time?
So if you bundle 2 products together, Amazon thinks of that as one product. It is then one SKU. So there's not 2 different listings. You don't have to try to rank 2 different things. It's one product on one listing. So even though like you bundled this water bottle with my cell phone, it's still just the water bottle cell phone combo that is the product on the listing on Amazon.
All right. So from Cell Summers now, once you have the hang of it, kind of like the product research and all the way getting it a live listing on Amazon, do you have any rule of thumb or recommendation on getting started on your next product?
Yeah, as soon as you learn the ropes and you have the time and you feel comfortable launching the next one, I would strongly encourage you to do so, because that's the easiest way to grow these businesses, to add more SKUs to your lineup. So you can look in like the same area. For example, like we could look to see if we wanted to sell baby washcloths or baby, I don't know, like a nursing blanket or something else that maybe my same factory could do. We could look into that. However, I'm actually a pretty big fan of just selling whatever is working well. So in my opinion, the only real advantage of selling something like a washcloth or like this nursing blanket or whatever else is I already have a relationship with this factory, and there's some economies of scale of shipping these products together and into Amazon. Okay. So some people will say like, oh, you should build like this whole cohesive brand because if you're selling yoga mats, then you should also be selling yoga blocks and yoga pants and yoga this and yoga that and whatever. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't help you at all on Amazon. On Amazon, people search for the product they're looking for, they choose the best one, and they buy it. They're not going to be searching for the Jungle Snugs brand. It's not a brand that people are aware of, okay? So we don't have any competitive advantage by selling another baby product under the Jungle Snugs brand on Amazon. Now, if we had later goals to like create like this baby website and get it into retail and all this kind of stuff, then you would probably want to be thinking about that more. But in my opinion, like the best ROI of your time and money is just to launch more products on Amazon and just sell whatever is selling well. So I would just go back to your product research just as you did for your first product and do that for the second.
Awesome. Maybe we can take one more and then you can leave us with some inspiring words and a plan for the future. So from Sarah Hicks, what is your technique for determining initial listing price? I've heard elsewhere to never go more than $2 of your initial listing price, maybe off competitors. So how do you determine the right price to start with? And then I guess from there, how do you end up on the final price?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So pricing's a funny thing on Amazon with everything because I've watched like a few like talks about this, and the moral of the story is no one has any idea what they should price any of their products on, whether this is Amazon or software or anything else, because everyone's kind of just guessing, right? Like no one really knows like what people are willing to pay for their product when they're first getting started, or how price sensitive your particular customers are. Okay. So with our particular product, I just picked 25 bucks. I just guessed it because that's, I think, like around what some of our competitors were selling at. Okay. But the fact of the matter is I have no idea. People may be willing to pay $40 for my product because it's thicker and has a washcloth. Or maybe these people are super price sensitive and they see no value in this washcloth or this thicker, nicer, more luxurious fabric. So they're not willing to pay a penny more than one of my competitors who doesn't have all that stuff, right? So to start, I would just guess like I did, sell it kind of around what one of your competitors are. And then me personally, I'm going to be using Profit Peak. It's the feature inside Splitly that automatically optimizes your price. And the reason for that is computers are a lot smarter than humans on doing this type of thing now. So it uses artificial intelligence and it tests all these different prices to determine what's going to make you the most money. So as soon as I have my images ready and I'm good to go, I'm just going to turn that on and it's going to automatically optimize my price. So it's going to try a little bit higher, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, a little bit lower. And then it might decide that, hey, like you're only selling 8 units instead of 12 at this price. However, at 8 units, we can charge $10 more. So your sales velocity is a little bit less, but you're making way more money than a higher volume at a lower price. So you can try to test that yourself, but it's like, who really has time to go and change the price every hour and then try to run all those calculations and figure out where their competitors are at and where they're ranking and this and that and the other thing. If you're that smart and you have that much time, then definitely go try to do it yourself. But that's how I'm going to determine my price. I'm just going to use Profit Peak.
Which is on splitly.com.
Which is on inside the Splitly app. Yep.
Okay,
cool clarification.
So yeah, maybe last question, then we can wrap it up. But for the new sellers out there, want to get started, want to start selling a product and kind of like follow in your footsteps of how you've gotten to where you're at now as an Amazon seller, what can they do?
Following along with this, first of all, this is a great start because the way that you build and you scale these businesses are by adding more SKUs. Okay. So if you're, pretend like I was at like a few years ago, I was working a corporate job, right? I wanted out of my corporate job. So I needed to replace my income with like a side hustle. Okay. So maybe like you're in the same situation. And if so, the first thing you need to do is get one product up on Amazon, because from that, you're going to learn so much. Okay. So even if you just break even on your first product, you're going to learn so much that who cares, right? Like people pay all this money to go to university and these classes and all this kind of stuff. you'll learn so much, even if you were to lose a little bit of money on your first product, right? You're going to learn so much. And then from that, the way that you grow and you scale and you build these bigger businesses are from adding more products onto Amazon. So step one is just to get one product up on Amazon. Step two is to just add more SKUs. So start to scale up, start to add more of these products. It really is like as simple as that. I don't have any like super like secret tricks or hacks or these types of things that like that you're not going to find out during the $1 million case study. You just need to have the persistence to continuously be launching SKUs, reinvest the profits that you make to continue to grow up.
Awesome. And yeah, I think worth mentioning the Jungle Scout resources page basically takes all these little parts that Greg's covered so far and really offers some great detail into everything along the way. So that's a great place to start. Our YouTube channel has weekly new content, awesome stuff, and a lot of webinars that really go into detail. So that's also really good to actually just focus on the first part of selling on Amazon.
Absolutely. And all of our resources, guys, this is like higher quality information that even that you learn in a lot of, more expensive courses or this or that or the other thing. Like I'm being 100% honest when I say like we are fully like transparently showing you every last steps. Like there's nothing like going on behind the scenes or this or that or the other thing, right? Like we're sharing with you everything that we're doing and you'll be able to see in real time. We'll be sharing the screenshots of our sales and everything in our profit and our P&L and everything to like see how well it's doing, what types of things made a difference. So yeah, you've stumbled upon a great resource to learn how to, get that first product or one of your future products going.
Sure. And speaking of P&L, what do we have next week?
Next week, I showed you guys briefly a screenshot of Fetcher that showed our sales. So Fetcher is a profit analytics and accounting tool. It was born out of the need to better understand how much money you're making on Amazon. So Seller Central sucks, quite frankly. You can't put your costs in there, so you have no idea like how much you're spending. You cannot, it doesn't tell you little things like, even though that I'm offering these products for 90% off right now, it's showing me that I had like $25 worth of sales instead of $2.50 worth, like to sell one product. So it has all these little things that make it very difficult to understand how much money we're really making, if we're even making any money, what types of things are making a difference, where we're spending a lot. So it factors in like your PPC and your promos and your cost of goods sold and your shipping and all this to help us like really understand the metrics that are important for these Amazon businesses. So we're bringing on Shane, who is the director, the project manager of our Fetcher app. He's going to be going in a little bit more depth about Fetcher, as well as he's done a fantastic job speaking to like hundreds and hundreds of sellers about their Amazon businesses. And he has like great insight and understanding of what type of metrics we need to be mindful of and a whole bunch of good information that I won't spoil before next week's webinar. Yeah,
Shane is super sharp. And so it'll be a lot of navigating Seller Central and kind of pulling out the best business metrics to kind of shed insight on how the product's doing. So Greg, I think that's about it.
All right. This is a fantastic webinar, guys. I really appreciate all of you joining us. We'll see you next week for episode number 17. Let's see. Whoa, that's getting too, I need fingers and toes now. Episode 17 next week. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. And I love to see the subscribers go. That's what motivates Gen and I and the whole team to continue to pump out this fantastic content. So thank you for that. And we will see you next week.
Thanks, Greg.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.